I predated Arab by thousands of years.
Man, see, this is why I stopped talking to this brother before and I jumped out the room because this right
you gotta
here,
get some sources,
you sidestepping, bro. You like Chris Paul out here, bro. Come on, man. For real, bro.
I'm showing you.
Yeah,
you know what?
Bro.
Like, so hold on. Do you want to step in the ring, man? Hold on. Are you asking to step in the ring?
Hey, everybody check the private chat real quick.
Tell me what's the strongest and mightiest Berber kingdom that ever existed?
Just answer the question.
The one that predates Arab by thousands of years.
You can't tell us which one. You don't know.
Name it. Come on, B.
Didn't I tell you be asking questions? What's the size and circumference of his hair?
The reboot, nigga. The reboot, nigga. What you saying? You want more, nigga? Like, y'all serious? Boy, y'all niggas ain't got a clue.
The Libyan.
Egypt, nigga. Those are indigenous to fucking Egypt. So how about that? Y'all ain't looked at them yet. Those are indigenous inhabitants of Egypt. But hold on, wait. Didn't I predate Egypt by 5,000 years?
Bro,
so if I
slow down.
Kingdom.
Slow down,
yeah.
Slow down. You're on the rant. You're on the rant. The Libu are not indigenous.
I predated by 10,000 years.
Come on, bro. Other people want to speak, fam.
And I predated Egypt by 5,000
years. Hey, yo, check the private chat, gentlemen. Check the private chat.
Make me
yeah, tell them, dog. That shit already solidified.
Be around this energy.
Yeah, you good, dog. Cause I predate Egypt by 5,000 years. Nigga, get your knowledge up.
Hey, Silky, let them get it in. But I need all y'all to check.
They don't even have nothing old, and I gotta hear this bullshit out these fools.
Hey,
everything they got.
It's not about. I mean, everybody get a chance to talk.
You see this? What I'm saying, bro?
Bad, A1
for bullshit, but somebody think what you saying.
He start hogging it's like we got one microphone. We just want to pass it around, but one just hog it all night.
And I don't know who right or wrong because I'm over here doing three things at once. I'm making graphics. I got the stadium open for y'all tonight.
I thought this was about me giving some information, but I guess not.
Open
I guess I gotta sit and listen to them.
This is it's a Spar session. You know you can come get an interview anytime.
And then you
brother.
I'm
trying to get y'all to check the private chat, so just check the private chat.
Okay,
I'm just saying, go ahead, check the private chat. That's all. Go ahead, do y'all thing, though, gentlemen. My bad about
interrupting. If we have
a conversation, let it be scholarly. Let it be balanced.
He's a liar, man.
Man. I'll see you on the ring, man.
It's simple.
He said the Libyans is indigenous to Egypt.
I asked him, what's the greatest Libyan kingdom that ever existed? It's a very simple question. Can you answer it?
Funny.
I'll tell you, the greatest Ethiopian empire that ever existed was His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, without question. That he had given him 3 constitutions, freed the slaves of Ethiopia, gave the church autocephaly, unified all of Afri, the land all of y'all was talking about 5 minutes ago. 32 nations in less than 10 years. Those are the words of John F. Kennedy. You understand? You understand? You know what I mean? Like, you can't fuck with our kingdom. I don't care what you say or what kingdom you bring forward. You could talk about Mauritania or Morocco. You could talk about Numidia, or you could talk about these people you keep talking about and bringing to the table every time I hear you. But none of them are going to compare to His Majesty's real legacy. I mean, and if you do have a kingdom, bring it forward. I would love to hear it. And matter of fact, if you have a candidate that you think has accomplished more than His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, I would please humbly request that you bring him forward, and we can compare resumes and see which one has outdone the other on behalf of mankind. If His Majesty come out victorious, then disregard your false gods and walk with the one true, almighty, His Imperial Majesty Emperor first. That's me, I say.
Yeah, man.
I
see this with Silk. Silk does this a lot in the chats, and to the conversation. My bad.
He ran from the. Why he ran?
Yeah, because he wants to control the narrative and cut people off and keep sidestepping questions and answering questions with questions. Right. That this is just to confuse and confound. You know what I'm saying? Instead of actually getting down to, like, how hard is it to name a kingdom? You know what I'm saying? He says Amazigh. What kingdom? What was the king? Name some kings. Name some name friggin' a dynastic era of the Amazigh. Like, I mean, it's not really that hard. You know what I'm saying? But we sidestep with questions and we throw all of this other stuff out. We start throwing olives and stuff in there, and never getting to the meat of the argument, and then walk off like a pigeon on a chessboard, like you won something. That's not how we do it, man.
He started the conversation, but it's an open panel, so everybody get to talk.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not trying to knock.
It's not an interview,
Silk, but Silk got to do better with, you know what I'm saying, with that, with kind of his argumentation style. It's a little bit.
Yeah, it's an honor to be on the stage. You didn't honor it. Don't sidestep. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so smoking mirror tactics and stuff like that. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, what I just did with Homeboy, smoking mirrors, you know what I'm saying? Smoking mirrors, redirect, try to freaking daggone minimize, turn around and try to switch the conversation over to, nah, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna stay, you know what I'm saying, on topic. We're not gonna get into the weeds or the olive trees. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. We gotta do better.
Yeah, because I can see him saying something like, so-and-so went and rode horseback in the battle of blah, 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 and defeated tens of thousands. You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
I'm going to say His Majesty got up in an airplane and his royal symbol rode the clouds exactly how the Bible says. And then drop off on them, see me I say? And destroy their whole effort in half a second. I mean, but you can't say your mans did that in that time. You know what I mean? So His Majesty outdoing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then when he brought up the bones in Morocco, it's okay. So but it predates the Berber, and even the term Berber is a freaking negative connotation, and it was used broadly. You know what I'm saying, for most North Africans. So you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I see what he's trying to do. I think he has to work on his methodology a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because
basically you're saying we want to have a good conversation with you, Aya.
Yeah, man. Making these
we
big
do, but we gotta be. You know what I mean? If you don't have no scholarship, man, then learn some scholarship right here. I know you're excited about this Berber kingdoms that have existed, but I'm just asking for you to name the one, and name that person in that kingdom too, while you're at it. I mean, name that prophecy that person fulfilled while you're at it, because I can name all of them that His Majesty fulfilled, historically speaking.
Right.
I mean,
we can go back to all of the kings of Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't name one, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can even discuss Mansa Musa, or, you know what I'm saying, from, you know, Morocco, or, you know what I'm saying, what have you. You name kings, pharaohs, you know what I'm saying, dynastic eras and periods. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to talk about the greatness of the Berbers and you can't name a kingdom or war? You know what I'm saying? You don't, you know what I'm saying? You still over here talking about bones that predate daggone the Berbers by thousands of years. So I don't get it. What's good, Bantu? You know what I'm saying? I heard you sound a little muffled, though. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to get a better mic, my brother.
Yeah, I got this little thing going right now. This little blower on right now.
Yeah, man. So what was you and his beef? What was your beef with Silky, Bantu? What was your beef with Silk?
No, man, Silk got a little debate coming up anyway.
Okay.
On on the Berber the Berber people predate the Hopla group or the Bantu 800, shit like that. So we got us a little debate coming up.
Cool.
Yeah, the challenge was made. I don't know if Buddy's gonna step to the stage with a kingdom or a Messiah or Emperor, or you know what you have. You know what I mean? That can compare to His Majesty.
I don't know what he got. He probably got. I don't know. Probably gonna use some more shit. Probably.
You know what I'm saying? You could use any one of yeah, you could use any of the daggone Ethiopian kings. You know
he probably going.
Any comers on His Majesty.
You go to Menelik the freaking second. You could go down all the way down the line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't even name one. You know?
Right. Mm-hmm. Saleh
Selassie. That one.
Yeah, name me one Berber freaking daggone empire and its ruler that, you know what I'm saying, that is historically, you know what I'm saying, recognized at all. You know, I've never seen any Berber kingdom. You know, Amazic, or is it Amazi? You know what I mean?
You're right. Well, this is what I say. If he tries to put him in the airplane, His Majesty destroying his record. If you try, and if you ain't coming in the airplane, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking down on you on that horse, man. Like, man, I ain't want to ask you. You know what I mean? Do it, please. But hey, the Ethiopians, they was lions against eagles, and you know what I mean. Just like the Book of Ezra's reference.
Yeah. And our Bantu brothers too. You know what I'm saying? They
shout out.
Shout
out B.A. Anderson in the chat. He on
Don
the
Juan
Facebook watching.
Sure,
about to drop the link on the Facebook in case anybody over there want to come up. Yeah, we was just I guess I don't know what happened. Silky hopped off the chat on the Berber convo. I don't know if he got they smoked his boots or his phone died, but we shall hear about it tomorrow in the back chat, I'm sure.
He wanted to control the narrative, and we're over here trying to be like, yo, come on, man. Stop running around the daggone questions, man. You don't answer questions with questions, y'all.
Yeah, you probably want to go look some shit up real fast and finna hop back on.
Well, it's nothing wrong with having such a strong root in Ethiopia. I'm not against.
It's fine. Yeah.
I'm not against a person saying that life started in other places around the world, but acknowledging those roots, however you do it, is essential to, in my book, your scholarship. You know what I'm saying? You can't disregard the root of a tree or the vine. You know what I mean? But and then uphold the branch as if it's better than the vine. You know what I mean? This don't make no sense. There's linguistics and travels and things that have happened historically. I think that outline human existence.
And sometimes I feel like the brother tries to place this this Berber thing, you know what I'm saying, as if it it's some form of superior race or superior tribe than other African tribes, which I kind of take offense to. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you already know the whole Eurasian back migration. You know what I'm saying, from the Eurasia back into Africa. You know what I'm saying, those haplogroups. You know what I'm saying, that we know are in northern Africa. You know what I'm saying, what have you. But to try to to place this Berber tribe over other groups of African tribes. You know what I'm saying? That kind of feels like like that Hermetic hypothesis just flipped. You know what I mean?
And then when His Majesty already is the only person in history to unify the continent that way.
Right.
And then during his times, like in the time frame that he did it, which was very short amount of time, it's very hard now, historically speaking, for a person to have another person they could bring forward. And it's not an idealization, because the body will go back to dust. But what we see is the power of the Trinity incarnate on earth and accomplish all of these things on behalf of mankind. It's a gift to mankind, right? Ultimate gift, justice. You know what I mean? Justice. And this is where I think all of the other studies flow from. That's when you can get into Numidian and, you know what I mean, the Maya Empire and all these other kingdoms, like even what he was referencing earlier. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So yeah, man. I kind of fell back off of debating the religious the religious and doctrine or the the Bible so much, because I'm dealing with a whole bunch of people who are trying to apply the sciences and stuff like that. And so I'm looking at it from more of a scientific perspective, or socio-political perspective is where I'm gonna start focusing. So what I'm saying, you carry that sword, what I'm saying, swing that sword, what I'm saying, and I'm gonna be swinging from the other end, you know what I mean, so they can they can see, like, we're not just we can delve into many different conversations, you know what I mean, and still eat them, eat them like food.
Well, like, let's say hypothetically we was talking about history. if you reference history, you got to reference the church because the church were the educators.
That's what I,
It's
listen,
not
B,
like you can
perfect
remove
example.
them from history because they're historically the educators, and
Right.
now that not only brings them into the picture, it now becomes the foundation of your history.
Right, and that's a perfect example because of the last conversation I just had, because I had a face off today with Taz, and Taz is trying to pigeonhole me into religion about the Black Messiah movement, right? And you know what I'm saying, trying to assert that the Black Messiah, you know what I'm saying, movement was only specific to religious ideologies. When you had a whole movie about the Black Panthers called Judas and the Black Messiah, you had the FBI and COINTELPRO, you know what I'm saying, talking about Black Messiah from a symbolic standpoint. However, you know what I'm saying, when I talk about the Black Messiah movement that began in 1920s and existed, you know, all the way into the 70s, you know what I'm saying, its influence, its echo, its effects reached further than the religious roots. That began, yes, with Haile Selassie, you know, when he was first coronated as Rastafari, you know what I'm saying, Black folks were stuck on religion. Now this brother Taz was like, see, that's where we went wrong. We went down with religion. Now, hold on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was indoctrinated with Christianity or an Abrahamic faith. So what you're asserting is
I agree.
Absolutely ridiculous to say that oh, we went wrong with religion. How so if a person has a broken, just use this as an analogy or demonstrative. If a person has a broken mid leg, you're gonna get mad at them for not running. So the only way to get them to run is to heal the leg, right? Then they can run. But you talking about, oh yeah, we went wrong when we went religion. Everybody was in a religion. Everybody was in an Abrahamic faith. And the only way to get us out of the white supremacist ideologies that were indoctrinated and forced upon us was for us to see the Black Messiah. We had to re-identify ourselves according to what we knew, which was Bible half the time. You understand what I'm saying? So it was important for Black folks to see Haile Selassie and to see a Black Jesus image. I still remember that episode on Good Times when little man freaking daggone took the white Jesus off the wall.
Michael showed
right?
and
put the Black Jesus on the wall. That was in the 1970s. How it deeply affected Black people to no longer look at themselves as subhuman beasts of burden, you know what I'm saying, but to look at themselves from a very divine, humanistic standpoint. So how is that not beneficial? Yeah.
They act as if imagery is not important, while today they always say, well, where are the people who represent us? Or, you know, why can't we have the first Black president? Or why can't we have, you know, this person of my color being the owner of an NFL team or owner of, you know, just stuff like this.
Right.
So if y'all can say that same stuff today, why isn't that still true in the past? And when it comes to things like religion, man, everybody was religious. Like you said, the people who believe in religion since the beginning of time until now has done more for the world than people who are non-religious. So that argument shouldn't even come up at all.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, when you look at Ethiopia, you can see that it was their faith that made sure that they won the war, because they had faith in their faith, which was their religion.
Right.
And they practiced it religiously, and this produced what a religion is supposed to produce. Whereas other nations may practice religion and it's come so far from what a way of life should be under Almighty.
Right.
So it's counter. It's like, why is Rome fighting Ethiopia if they're both Christian nations?
Right.
But you see, the Roman Christianity is the false, right, faith with Antichrist. You have Hitler, who resurrect the Holy Roman Empire. You have Benito Mussolini, who incarnate himself or reincarnate himself, or however he want to label it, as Julius Caesar. Right. And you have Christ saying, render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to the Lord what is the Lord, distinguishing the enemy's kingdom from Almighty. So now you have a proof incarnate of this battle referenced in Revelations with these 10 axes powers, just like the Bible referenced them, and everything lining up historically. You have the resurrection
with the horns on the head.
Roman Empire.
You're going deep now, bro.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah,
resurrection of the Holy Roman Empire with the Lateran Treaty, giving the Vatican attention now from Italy, and Italy from the Vatican, as they ignored each other, didn't even identify each other as authentic, because the House of Savoy took the throne, and also the Holy Roman Church had fallen in 1806. So here come Mussolini resurrecting it, literally, not hypothetically, with this Lateran Treaty, uniting Rome and making the Catholic Vatican
Right.
faith the only faith of Italy,
yeah,
right? So now, giving it vassal states and money, is resurrecting this, if you will, harlot. And this is a historical fact. Now, that's where, for me, when I talk to Christians in the Western Hemisphere and I ask them, if your pastor believe in the Bible, is World War II reference in the Bible? I asked them that. Can you
Yeah,
show me
second
where the
woe.
Bible references
Revelation.
World War II? And
Revelation 11.
they say it's not in there.
No, it is. It's
Western
Revelation.
Christians,
Yeah.
Western Christians' response is that it's not in there.
Oh, it's in there.
Right.
Revelation chapter 11 speaks about the second woe, and the third woe has not yet come. Right. So we're talking about the first
yeah,
woe, and the first woe we see, and I think that goes back to what, 9 or 10. The first woe we saw locusts that were spitting brimstone, or you know what I'm saying, huge locusts spitting brimstone from their mouths, and fire and smoke proceeded
The
from their tails.
simplest way
That's a
I say
war.
it is the horses
They couldn't.
is
They
the
could.
perfect example of
Yeah.
why they went to war on horseback during that time. It's very
Well, they
simple.
saw what
If
I'm
they
saying, like in Revelation.
if this generation is the fulfillment of prophecy, then they're gonna go to war on horseback. That's what the Bible say. The horses are eaten by the birds of the air. That means this time has already passed. The nations aren't getting ready to go to war on horseback or with swords.
Oh, you got horsepower.
The book of Isaiah says they'll beat their
right.
swords.
Horsepower.
Yeah, the book of Isaiah says they'll beat their swords into plowshare. You go to the United Nations, you see the man outside beating his sword into a plowshare. You see on the wall the verse of Isaiah, right? So there's fulfillment there. We don't go to war with swords no more, dog. This ain't
Right.
samurai. This ain't, you know what I mean? This
I
ain't
do.
Arthur and the Arthur, Sir Lancelot and the Round Table. No, it's none of that. It's we dropping off on people and then shoom, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We
Flying off.
we
See, man,
sending intercontinental shit. You know what I mean? Like, so
I like
all
what
I'm
you
trying
said
to say
about
is,
Rome
can
too,
you?
bro. Not to
Mm-hmm.
cut you off, but
No, go
what you were
ahead,
saying
bro.
about Rome, how it lost all its power, and then now is the power has been given back. When you read the book of Revelations, like you were saying, when it comes to end time prophecy, it talked about the horn or the beast that had got wounded as if it almost died, but then it got its power back. You can see that happening just in what you just explained a second ago. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're in a more like 1,000-year millennial reign. We're outside of the kingdom of heaven. There's weeping and gnashing of teeth. But if you look at like these nation states, they're not really warring as so much as skirmishes or like conflicts of
Cold
interest,
Wars. Yeah.
cold wars, if you will. Because like the war, when you see World War II shit kick off, that's war. You know what
Right.
I mean? And people are and thinking that it's gonna happen any day, but it may not for 1,000 years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This to me. All I'm gonna say is like there's a lot of fear mongering in the world.
Yeah.
But if you understood the theater of war in World War II,
Right.
what you see today is pales in comparison to
Mm-hmm.
this all-out global conflict. So that's what I'm trying to say. This is a specific time in history where men are going into war on horseback with swords, and this is now this time frame historically has passed. So how does a pastor in the Western Hemisphere reconcile the question posed to him: who sits on King David's throne? Where is Israel? And and why have you not mentioned World War II in any of your sermons as
Now,
Armageddon?
I ain't gonna just doodle. I ain't gonna just doodle on my brothers in the faith. You know what I'm saying? But I will be honest, man. A lot of these preachers and pastors, when you go to their churches, man, it's all about the feel good message and coming back next week to get another feel good message. It's
Right.
you rarely hear
Right. It's
a
a
lot
pep
of these
talk.
preachers
Right.
and pastors. really talk about, first off, sin and people getting their life right, let alone go into the book and try to break down some of these prophecies and let people know what has already been fulfilled, what's coming up to be fulfilled. Half of them don't even know, bro, so they don't even touch on it. It's the same messages every Sunday. Moses split the Red Sea.
Right.
Noah built the ark. You know what I'm saying? It's the same stuff.
So now let me ask you. Can you imagine you was in history class in the 9th grade or 8th grade, and they said Benito Mussolini started World War II by invading Ethiopia, causing the Abyssinian crisis, and encouraging Hitler to invade Poland. And then they said, but the Lion of the tribe of Judah prevailed to destroy Mussolini's kingdom, because the House of Savoy is no more, right? So he put a fatal head wound on that kingdom. It's no longer kings on earth. There's no more sovereigns. You feel what I'm saying? And there's no more blessed sovereigns. So so that's a time in history where His Majesty has now checkmated the world. Right. When you're the head of the Ethiopian Empire, the head of the Solomonic dynasty, the head of the Oriental Orthodox Church, the head of the United Nations, the head of the African Union, right? The head of the World Evangelical Councils as a special guest by Billy Graham. Now, what does that do? That gives you a certain amount of influence and power, literal, not hypothetical. I call Africa, she comes. I call Ethiopia, she comes. I call the church, she comes. I call the state, she comes. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep.
And then now, not just have the authority, but have proven it through war.
Right.
Because we've defeated our enemies and never been conquered
and
from the beginning of our kingdoms.
Check this out. What does that do to the collective mind of a people of the diaspora who have been downtrodden and oppressed for hundreds of years, to now see, their own black, king do all of this stuff after being told for years that you're subhuman and you're this and you're that, and and you're not in the book, and then for us as a people to see this, how much
imagine His Majesty landing and all the troops coming out and all of the heads of states bowing and all of
this affected black folks in the diaspora deeply, not just Rastafari, of North America and Jamaica or the Caribbean. This affected black folks. There was black folks who were in the military during World War II that literally stole planes. There was an air and went against what was it, Lyndon Johnson or somebody? I think it was Lyndon Johnson who told them that they could not, join in the war effort. And they did it anyway. They ran off with airplanes to Ethiopia so that they could help in the war, and then came back to face daggone
Mussolini. And you see, he called them from every nation too, not just the United States.
But I'm saying the black folks, the Air Force pilots, when they came back, they had to face freaking court martials.
Right. So this is what I'm trying to say. His Majesty, but he still called them, and they came. You know what I mean? His Majesty put a call out, and blacks from around the world came. Hundreds of thousands from Harlem itself, I believe, signed up. Yeah, man.
GTA and stolen planes and flew off.
Yeah, man. Hey, His Majesty called. He led the largest Pan-African movement in world history. When you unify, first off, he had to first bring these nations to peace before he could unify them under one umbrella. And he checkmated them in one meeting. Everybody signed. Don't go home. See me? I say, everybody that came in that building was basically sign this before you go home today. Boom.
That was after the League of Nations fell because of their violation of Haile Selassie. So when it says, that the nation that he would
He'll gather the nations,
right,
and pour out his indignation.
The nations would also fall.
Yeah.
They would also fall. Right? So we saw that historically. And a lot of these folks are waiting for freaking Kimbo Slice Jesus to come out the sky with a freaking daggone white afro breathing fire, and they done missed the whole
the devil out. Yeah, they want to see all that. They want to see
you don't miss the
Blake
daggone
Paul,
revelation.
what's his name? Jake Paul. That's what they want to see. Jake Paul. I mean,
I'm talking about the Hebrew Israelites. You ever seen them images of the black
with the green and white eye with the red eyes?
Yeah,
Nathaniel, pretty
So
much.
you look at some of them, it's actually Kimbo Slice's face with a white
No,
afro.
that's actually Nathaniel from ICIU.
No, yeah, ICIU ones do that. The other guys have the Kimbo
Slice on the
Slice.
pad when I write.
The other ones use the Kimbo Slice. Yeah, I know that the ones
Yeah.
that use, they use Nathaniel. But the Kimbo Slice Jesus killed me, yo. I fell out.
Same, man. They play too much.
Out, bro.
You know what bothers
the most
me?
Demonic image I've ever seen.
You know what bothers me is that Pastor Gino Jennings came
God.
out and said that His Majesty's not the Lord of Lords and King of Kings.
Man, that dude there, man.
It said he say it's a lie out of hell, but like couple years later, he come out talking about the homeland, the full Bible is found in Ethiopia, and I'm selling them now for
that dude double tongue, dog.
$5.50 a book.
Right.
That dude double tongue. And because he talks with authority, you know, a lot of people think that he be knowing what he be talking about because he talk with authority. But when you listen to that dude, and if you actually know the Bible or know the history behind it, yeah, he ain't really saying a whole lot of nothing, bro.
Yeah, for him to say that, you got to really think how blasphemous that is, though. To sit here and say he ain't no Lord of Lords and King of Kings is first off a complete lie. That is his titles. The church, right, and the state gave him those titles, and the Solomonic dynasty ordained that. That's an ordinance from Almighty. So that's blasphemy.
Now, and then he said, I've been putting this challenge out here for all these pastors for all these years. Dude, stop lying, bro. Any one of these people who try to debate you, you never show up to the debate, you never answer the call, but you get online acting as if that you know everything. That you get online acting as if you're so confident in the stuff that you're saying, and you won't even let nobody challenge you on that stuff. That's how we know you a liar, bro.
Some of these people are agents, man.
I called
him out. That's true. That's true.
From what I heard, Nathaniel Wright was officer, and I don't know what happened or came about with the separation, but those are some things to consider. Did he go into the intelligence side of operations? Did they put him out there as a personage to lead a false movement to co-op it when their leader died? Because it went from commandment keepers, and then it was so far from this Ethiopian belief that it originated.
What you mean? Explain that.
Okay, so the commandment keeper,
that doctrine,
Josiah Ford was head of the commandment keepers and believed in Ethiopian, and was called as a son to come at His Majesty's coronation, and was given honor at the coronation and even a burial in Ethiopia. And you see Josiah Ford leading this origin of the faith, which goes back to the 1800s. But nevertheless, you see Josiah Ford, a righteous man, who ended up going to His Majesty's coronation. I think this is a clear sign that anybody who claimed to be a true Hebrew Israelite and understands the foundation, or what you would say is the root, right, as they are the offspring, right, they would respect their root. You know what I mean? Josiah Ford is their roots. How can one?
Half of them don't know that though, bro. Half of them have never even heard of the commandment keepers. They came along once, like the one West camps had broke up, and everybody split and made their own camp or whatever. That's where a lot of these dudes come from. Yeah,
that's when the co-op happened.
Came out of Albert Bivens. Who was a student of Matthews and Ford.
That's when the co-op happened. Now you over here in Nigeria, and
that's what I was trying
here in where they Kenya, pissing these people off to the point where they kick you out of their country.
Right.
Like, Hebrew. You over here talking about, you worshiping white Jesus. What? Because you found one or two people or churches doing that? That don't represent all of the people in that country.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you misrepresenting that country. And that's the first thing you do when you get there is pass judgment.
Right.
Nah,
that whole straw man
people from returning. That's what they trying to do.
That whole straw man argument within itself. I like what you just said. They assume that just because certain people have like white Jesus or whatever, they act as if everybody have white Jesus, and then for y'all to go over here into this country leaving here, going way over there to the other side of the world, thinking that you can give that same message over there. That's why y'all got y'all butt kicked out, because ain't nobody playing with y'all when it comes to that stuff. That's what y'all believe. That's a straw man position to take and put that on everybody. And watch it. They still do that to this day. Most people, including white people, in these churches. I've been to a bunch of churches, bro. I ain't seen white Jesus in forever, but these dudes will still get on these internets and say, y'all got white Jesus in your church. Who you lying to, man?
Well, see, here's the thing. You could go to Ethiopia and find white Jesus in certain churches, but most of those white Jesus were given as gifts from other Christian leaders
there we go.
who were there touring, but that doesn't represent the most ancient pictures. The most ancient pictures are the Ethiopians' pictures. So if I was a Hebrew Negroite and I wanted to go over there and misrepresent people, I might just take me a white Jesus picture and say, you see, the Ethiopians worship white Jesus.
Look, read.
You know what I mean?
That's
and then
right.
That might piss the Ethiopians off. Like, no, that's not what we believe, and you misrepresent us. And maybe
this should go both ways too, though. White Jesus and black Jesus, both of them, when it comes to the image, both of them are false. So how can you tear down their white Jesus for your black Jesus when neither image is right? So y'all in the same boat if you think about it.
When you look at Selassie and you look at the original pictures of Christ, you could say that he was tawny. You could also say he was Caucasian, because technically Ethiopians are. And then you could also say that he's black, because we know Ethiopians are.
Right. You say he olive? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, any
all
of them.
them.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying he the whole world in his hand. You know what I'm saying? And one man. You see him as the regular height of man too. You know what I mean? So this is the original man right here. You know what I mean?
But I like what y'all said earlier. It's kind of hard for me. Like when I be on Facebook, you know how they share pictures of Jesus or whatever. I know that's not the image of Jesus, but I may like the message that's on the meme. I don't even share it because I know that people will get whacked out thinking that I think that this is how Jesus look, or you know what I'm saying, whether black or whether white, because they hold that straw man up so much, bro.
He looked a certain way, bro. They described him in Rome, and he looked a certain way. We know the Bible described Christ now. This is the thing, feet of bronze, hair of wool. You know what I mean? It tell you.
Well, no, come on. We ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. But that was the vision that John saw of him.
Sardis. They said Sardis. They said he was Sardis.
No, I'm saying when we talk about the bronze and the hair of wool and stuff like that, of course, we're talking about how Jesus looked in John's vision when he went to heaven and got his glorified body. That's not talking about how he looked on. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, like I said, I ain't want to go down that rabbit hole. But
remember his body? He showed the hand holes in his hands, so he didn't change when he went to heaven. A different look. They're describing his look.
Well, no. I'm talking about even
different from his look on earth.
No, I'm saying even how they break down that scripture with the feet of bronze and the hair of wool and all that. It's not even saying that in the first off. When it comes to his hair, it's talking about the color of his hair, not the texture of his hair. And when it talks about, well, no, it's not. It's talking about the texture. But anyway, I ain't trying to argue with you on that. We can do that another time. But even when it comes to the bronze stuff, which we know how bronze look when it's burning in a fire, it got that glow. You know that glow that they put on TV when somebody is kind of divine. They give me a little shine glow. But anyway, that's a whole other subject. I was saying what you were saying though, when it comes to people going to these other countries or even over here in this country, trying to dictate to them what their image of Jesus should be. With me personally, I don't care how Jesus looks. I don't care if he's black, white, green, purple, or whatever. As long as he's the Messiah and he is the person that did the stuff that he said he did in the Word of God, that's all I care about. I could care less. So I'm not racist. I don't got no more love for black people than I have for white people and vice versa. So I'm not even on that type of time anyway. You know what I'm saying? But for those type of people who was talking about, like the Israelites and the going back to the commandment keepers all the way up to One West, all the way up to where we are now. Geno Jennings' doctrine, even though he claimed not to be like an Israelite per se, we can trace the stuff that he say in his doctrine back to some of these people's doctrines that came from the commandment keepers, as you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah, I would love to. And I think that you should really consider that faith evolves. Some stay in the older, some go into the new wineskins. Those that are in the older, maybe of the first command or commandment keepers. Some that are in the new, maybe in the new, but all are in the way. If you're not in the way,
what you know about this, bro? They say that people like the commandment keepers, they got their information from the British Israelites back when, when they were saying that they
this
were
was
the
a pure
Israelites.
African movement. The head of state of Ethiopia sent emissaries here.
Yeah, Malaku
Okay.
Ibayan.
All the way to Tewodros and Queen.
Also in Harlem there was a large Jewish community there, so it wasn't getting stuff from the British. A lot of them were
okay.
Yeah,
the
we
British were allies.
Yeah, British Israel. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Remember,
yeah.
Great Britain and Ethiopia have lineage to Solomon and to the throne through Moorish marriages and etc. that go all the way through to Ethiopia as well, like Edward the Blacker, etc. So you got these very important networks going on simultaneously. It's not conscripted to just one time that all these events are happening. They're happening congruently.
Right. Yeah. If people paying attention, it is fascinating, man. It's I mean, not only is it interesting, it's fascinating, and it kind of makes you open your eyes, especially if you never looked into it like that before. I mean, it's kind of hard to not see if you're looking for it, though.
When you talk about the British Israelism, that's what the camps got with the chart. The chart actually comes from British.
Okay, Israel. That's what they were saying. Okay,
That's the One West. Those are the One West, not the Commandment Keepers. Commandment Keepers didn't have anything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? In fact, they were a part of the Ethiopian World Federation. They were Ethiopian Moorish Zionist Jews, and the Commandment Keepers. Arnold Josiah Ford. I have to correct myself next time I go on Netta, because I actually mixed up Matthews with Ford, but Matthews, you know what I'm saying, was also his contemporary, you know what I'm saying, during that time. And
I like that you double back to correct yourself, man. That's nice work, man. That's nice work.
Yeah, man. I made a mistake and said Matthews when I really met Ford. You know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, they had a different ideology. The Commandment Keepers didn't believe in Christ. Whereas Geno Jennings believes in oneness doctrine. He believes that Jesus,
Pentecostal one,
the Commandment Keepers, they were Old Testament only. Although they did reference Christ here and there, but they were more like Orthodox. You know what I'm saying, in their Judaism.
Gotcha.
Right, like Beta Israel.
Yeah.
Beta Israel.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
Beta Israel live in the highlands.
They call them Falashas. Yeah, but
they also migrated to. They also migrated to Israel in 1992 on a project called Aliyah, where the Jewish community tried to use Beta Israel as a means to prove their their authenticity. But Beta Israelites are also converting to Rastafari at a pretty quick rate, and some are desiring to move back to Ethiopia because of the discrimination they face in Israel. If you want more evidence of that, just type it in on YouTube. It'll pop up.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, you don't got to pull up the source for me. I'm going to look at it.
I'm going to fall back, brethren. Relax a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Good luck for the reasonment. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Ross Roll. You know what I mean? Kick that. You know what I'm saying? That knowledge for the people.
Yeah, you going to bed, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm going to take it easy, man. I got to do some typing practice, too. So, you know what I'm saying? Before I lay it down.
That night early.
Yeah, I'm on. Now, I'm old head, man.
So we got to get them 8 hours in.
You know what I'm saying? Got to. All right, y'all. Bless up. Y'all, man.
Bless up.
All right, Zion.
Have a good night.
Perfect luck.
Yo, do we have a meeting tomorrow, Ross?
Actually, I'm not sure. I think it might be next week, but I'll double back and text you to let you know.
Yeah, man. All right, bless up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Roz Royal, and we got to get you set up with a interview, so that you got any presentations?
No, I just do the will of Almighty when people are interested in learning. I'm excited to talk about His Majesty, man. It ain't kingdom that can compare,
Let's go, man. I appreciate you, man, popping up here tonight, man. We kept it simple, though. We kept it real simple. We kept it light. Nobody, what you about to get into for the night, man?
I'm at work, bro. So yeah, I'm gonna be up until 6 o'clock. So
I'm about to move around a little bit, man. I was keeping
well,
the
yeah,
gym
I was just I just had to keep my word to you, man. Let you know I'm gonna jump on here, man. Show some support, of course, and it won't be the last, of course.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna start trying to kick this open panel more often, and I got somebody else to help out. Apollo Bay, when he's not focusing on debates, is gonna hop up here and kick this Spar session off. He said he want all the smoke, so and he got a couple brothers that's been chasing him around, so he gonna bring them over here.
And as you already know, these are my hours, bro. So these late hours into the morning, this one I'll be up. So I appreciate you if you're gonna start hosting or having shows around this time. Then I have more of an opportunity to actually be on them because I try to sleep during the day so I can be up at night. So if you do start having more of these late night conversations, I definitely appreciate you, and I definitely be jumping on some of them, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know where to catch me in the back chat. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. We do have a debate tomorrow. I'll go ahead and run a commercial just in case you two gentlemen haven't seen it, and everybody else out there at TV land. So,
all right, brothers. I'll catch up with y'all later.
All right, have a good night, man. Have a good night.
Peace.
God bless. Guide and protect.
You too. Same to you. Same to you.
This November, the Coliseum of Arguments opens its gates once again. The stage is set, the question explosive. In one corner, the Argument League champion, the revolutionary voice shaking platforms across the internet, Suave Boss, preaching black power, unity, and unapologetic truth. And standing across from him, the former Lions Den Debate League champion with a record of 14-1. The mind behind the philosophy God is light, light is electromagnetism. The electrifying intellect King Naga. This round's topic: does being American conflict with being black? Two titans, two worldviews, one question that cuts the core of identity, loyalty, and liberation. Who speaks for the truth? Who walks away victorious? Find out Sunday, November 16th at 8 p.m. only on the Coliseum of Arguments. This is Titans Debate League, where minds collide and legends rise.